This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
Welcome back to The Cringe is Real, the podcast that cringes along with Australian reality TV and pop culture at large. I'm Sam Crimean, and to help me celebrate the finale of Drag Race Down Under Season 4 is the mummy of yummy, Valerie Hex. Drag Race Down Under Season 4 is finished, but you can watch it all now on Stan in Australia and Wow Presents Plus everywhere else, and go back and listen to my weekly recaps with fabulous special guests. Valerie Hex, welcome to The Cringe is Real.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, so happy to have you here. How's it going? You're in Vienna, I believe?
I am in Vienna. It's great. It's cold and it's very Viennese.
It's very Viennese. Delightful.
Here in Vienna, they don't call Viennese hot chocolate a Viennese hot chocolate. They just call it a hot chocolate.
What about a schnitzel? What do they call it?
They call that dinner.
Yeah, right. And so what have you been doing over there?
Well, I'm here as a pot, actually, a partner on tour. So my lovely, wonderful partner, Jared, has like a 6-month contract with Palazzo, which is like a dinner theater circus extravaganza.
Stunning.
And yes, it's so nice. So there are like 5 palazzos across Germany and Austria. He did it last year in Berlin, and this year it's in Vienna. But the one in Vienna is it's incredible. It's inside the Prater Garden, which is like literally a theme park with really fun, if slightly off-brand rides and roller coasters. I'll give you an example. So there's like an indoor roller coaster that it's a techno coaster. So it's like an indoor rave in a blackout with like green lasers shooting everywhere. And you go on this indoor roller coaster and then like Batman pops up and then like Darth Vader pops up and you're like, what?
Okay, this is camp.
It just doesn't make any sense, but it's like the best thing. And then in the middle of this theme park is a Spiegel tent, and that's where the Palazzo Vienna is. And it's really fun. So I'm just kind of here living life and doing a couple gigs, but just, I don't know, having a European moment.
Stunning. It sounds like you get to be a little bit of a lady of leisure, which is great.
I feel very lucky. Yeah, I'm taking a moment, taking a slower pace of life after a very busy year. So I'm just here for 2 months, though, not the full 6 months. And what about you? Where are you calling me from right now?
I'm currently in a gîte in the Magoon Valley, in the middle of Morocco.
In your gîte, was it?
Yeah, it's like a mud brick house.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's quite stunning, but it is raining. We did have lovely weather in the desert, and now it's like we're rugged up inside. It's like 2 degrees.
Oh, right.
Oh.
And you just had an adventure in the desert? Or are you having that now?
Yeah, we went through the desert to get here.
Did you ride a camel?
We did.
I have a question.
Okay.
1 hump or 2?
Always 2, darling.
I'm so glad. Thank God.
And it didn't spit on anyone, so look, we're winning. Normally I'd ask you what's got you cringing this week, but because it's almost the end of the year, we thought we'd do a little countdown of our cringiest moments of the whole year.
Yes, I love that.
Should we get into it? Do you want to go first with your top 5 moments of 2024?
Yes, I would love to. It's been a big year. It's very interesting to kind of stop and reflect, isn't it? When you kind of go, all right, what the fuck just happened? So, okay, here we go. My top 5 cringiest moments of 2024. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have the Willy Wonka experience
Oh my God.
in Glasgow, which just kind of looked like the biggest train wreck and so much fun.
What was
So that
this?
was. Oh, did you miss that?
I've totally missed this.
Okay. So it was like a sparsely filled warehouse with just like a couple, like very, very thinly stretched out kind of Willy Wonka decorations, an exhausted woman dressed up as an Oompa Loompa, giving out like one piece of candy to each child.
Oh my God.
And then this masked character called the Unknown, which had nothing to do with Willy Wonka, popping out from behind mirrors and scaring kids.
Is this that
Um,
meme of the exhausted Oompa Loompa? Is that where that originated from?
yes,
Oh my God. Was that this year? Oh
that
my
was this
God.
year.
Holy
That is
shit.
she,
That
the
takes me back.
exhausted Oompa Loompa.
She's iconic.
Crazy. She truly is. But she's iconic cringe of 2024. God bless her. Okay, and then up next for me, I have number 4, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh yeah. Big
What the
time.
fuck?
What was that? It like started off all right. I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. And then halfway through that movie, I was like, oh, absolutely not.
I just feel like straight people and
Mm,
straight culture, it's like a sick and sad existence.
gone too
You
far.
know?
When will they
And I
stop?
was it's our Hugh, and one of the Ryans, and I was like, I'll give it a go. They're like, it was like doing so well at the box office. Great kind of advertising. And I just watched it, and it was douche chills level cringe. Like, listener, if you are a Deadpool Wolverine fan, please explain it to me because I just don't get it.
And don't explain it to me because I'm not interested.
Okay, number 3, the US election. It was just nonstop cringe. It went on for way too long. Everyone was wrong about everything, and a whole world full of cringe. So I'm glad that's over.
It did go on for a long time, and it did feel like a television drama, as it does every time.
My number 2 cringe of the year, and this is a good one. This is a fun one. The Gina Reinhardt portrait. That was my favorite. Like, it was a masterpiece. And I don't think any other piece of art in 2024 has matched that level of perfection. So chef's
So
kiss.
beautiful. I have a friend who put that on a t-shirt like straight away. Like I was impressed by the turnaround, and I was like, wow.
Yes. Wow. Some people are quick.
Mm.
It's always a bit of a race, So sign me up. I want that on a t-shirt too. I put it on a stick. I printed it out at Quick Copy Coburg and put it on a stick and kind of used it as a mask. And it was quite a good punchline to finish it out. Gina on a stick. Gina on a stick. And my number 1 cringe for the entire year is the delightfully terrible ray gun.
Oh my God. We were just looking at the Ray Gun the musical Fallout stuff. She is such a terrorist. Like, not only did she not take a joke when the world was like having a little bit of a laugh about her silly dance, she could have rolled with that and
she could have been an
icon. She could have been. We could be sitting here right now being like, "Yes, mama," to Raygun. But to Raygun, I say, no. Take a joke. Now she's like suing random comedians that want to just do a little bit of parody. Like, no, she's lost all of my fucks. Like,
true. Yes,
she can
the
exit.
support has been withdrawn, honey. Yes, she's suing venues for $10,000. and allegedly,
Yeah.
and sending cease and desist letters to comedians selling $10 tickets, allegedly.
But the most
And
cringe part of it is go and watch Reagan's like little lives and reels she's doing with all the comments turned off, of course, and they are so funny. They're like, "Hey guys, it's really unfortunate that we had to cancel the show because people thought that I was involved somehow." I'm like, no one thought you were involved with a musical because you're not fun.
no,
No one ever thought you were doing anything good. So
ever.
relax. And it would have been really good for her brand to just let people do parody. Like, calm.
Oh,
She
totally.
needs to chill out,
It's
honey.
like we don't. No one. I don't think anybody actually thinks she's a good breakdancer, and she had this like accidental moment of international fame.
Like
And
huge.
as Australians, like we have carried the cultural cringe for so long,
I
and
know.
I feel like it's starting to change. Like people understand that Australia is a place with artists and interesting personalities, and
What?
can you believe it?
I know.
Lies, lies.
But
But
seriously, she fucked it up for herself because I reckon if there is a universe where she was kind of, in on the joke a bit, willing to have a
yes,
laugh at herself, she could actually be a huge star, and it actually would have worked out really well for her. Like, yeah,
I totally agree. And I think when you have like a moment like that, that's like insta fame, she could have taken it as an opportunity to embrace the joke and shine a spotlight on the breaking community, shine a spotlight on breakers of color who are incredible, share the love, be like, hey guys, thanks for the attention. While I
mm,
have you, let's look at
mm,
this performer. Let's look at the history of breaking
100%.
and like
Now, she
turn
made
it
it
into
all about
something.
her. She made it all really sooky, and now she's turning on like random other comedians that want to like just have a poke fun moment of something that was a cultural moment for the world.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair game for parody, in my opinion.
Well, Raygun, you're my number one cringe, so don't be a
Well
sookie lala.
done, doll.
Well
I wish her
done.
well. All right, I'm gonna
What
do
about
my
you?
my top five moments. They're sort of cringe moments, but they're also the cringe is real moments. So for people that have been listening throughout the year, I will be revisiting some moments that we've covered on the pod. So number five is the theme song to Netflix Japan's show The Boyfriend, which
Ooh.
is Dazed and Confused by Glenn Check. Um, I had to put this in here because I've had this song in my head since first seeing this show to right now, and it has not
Wow.
left. So I need to put it in here mainly as a bit of an attempt to remove it from my brain. And also, they've greenlit season two of The Boyfriend.
Okay.
Did you watch this show or did you hear about this show?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Okay,
I'm going
okay.
to pretend that I do.
Basically, the TLDR is Netflix Japan, first ever sort of queer content for them. Bunch of gay guys in a house,
Ooh, sounds
working in
fun.
a coffee cart together. Very wholesome. Not what you'd
Okay.
expect because it's a Japanese show. Not a lot of um, canoodling happened, but a little bit of holding hands. But the tension and the
Yeah.
production on this show is like so good, and we're all very excited for season two. And yes, I will be covering season two next year, so that's something to look forward to.
Can you
Um,
give me your best like impression of singing the theme song?
we used to break it together. Oh, oh, oh. That's the theme song,
Ooh.
and then
Oh,
it
I love
just
it.
keeps going, and it's like, yeah,
Sign me up.
the girlies know. All right, number four is Hurricane Kelly from Australian Survivor this year. So she was I don't know, 50-something-year-old woman who thought she's like, I've seen Survivor before. I know what you do. You go on this show and you need to hide something about yourself. And so she's a psychologist, but she thought, oh no, if I tell the other contestants that I'm a psychologist, instant target on my back. So what did she tell them instead? She said, hey everyone, I'm Kelly. I'm 50 something and I work in mental health.
Kelly.
And they were all like, okay. And then when she got inevitably kicked off the show, she turned to everyone and she said, well, guess what? I've been holding a huge secret from you all. I know I told you that I worked in mental health, but actually, I'm a psychologist. To which everyone said, great.
Wow. Kelly dropping the truth bombs.
Number 3 is Mum Talk co-founder Taylor Frankie Paul and her cringy but hot boyfriend Dakota. So this is from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Did you hear about this show?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
I had to put her in here somewhere because she really just did the thing. And she said, you know what? I'm gonna be as chaotic as I can possibly be, but I'm also gonna make some great television. And to that we say thank you, Taylor Frankie Paul.
Mm.
And we'll be back again next year with more of that because apparently they've just saved the network's ratings. So well done.
They make good TV. You know, I'll tell you something. When I lived in the US, I lived just like down the street from the Mormon temple in Maryland. And I tell you, like, I shit you not, it looks like Oz, like the Emerald City.
Ooh,
Google the Mormon temple in Maryland. It is shocking. Like, it
is it
looks like
green?
it's okay. It's everything but green, but it looks like a castle. Um, and we used to go there like almost as like a tourist because they would every year they would do like a nativity scene with like real humans playing all of the like Jesus like shepherds and stuff and stand there in the cold for like hours outside. And yeah. And those people were rich. Those Mormons like have so much money. It was like
Hmm.
really something to see.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well, they're all having babies in their 20s and making TikTok accounts about being hot mums. So yeah, we love your
God
work.
bless. They're doing the damn thing.
Number 2 is undercover homosexual Nathan from F Boy Island, Australia.
Oh
He
yes.
went on the show. He went on the show as just a regular guy, and then we had the rug pulled out from under us to learn that he was, in fact, fam. And I've never felt so blindsided by television in my life.
Surprise!
And then he disappointed the community by kind of being a bit meh on the show. We were all rooting for Nathan. We were all wanting Nathan to bring the girlies all the tea from the villa, cause some gay havoc, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, turn one of the straight guys. There was so much potential for Nathan. And
So
I'm
much
sorry,
potential
darling,
for
that you did not
good
deliver.
drama.
Exactly.
What the fuck? Nathan, don't let us down, honey.
But look, it turns out she was all just there for the clout. So, surprise,
Mm.
surprise.
Ugh, typical.
Insta-gays will insta-gay. Are you ready for my number 1?
Hit me.
It's a seamless segue into this episode. It's the entire cast of Drag Race Down Under season 4 for saving the franchise. We thank you for your
Aw,
service. Didn't they do a good
it
job?
has been so good, such a delight. The sisterhood is real.
I'm seeing wild statements online. I'm seeing the renaissance of Drag Race. I'm seeing we're back, baby.
Yes. I've seen a couple posts about it.
How are you feeling about it now that the season is done?
I appreciate the sisterhood, the sense of community, in a way that like I haven't in years. You know, I feel like the franchisization is that a
Mm.
word? Of Drag
It
Race
is now.
was just, it was feeling so commercial and kind of like formulaic that I lost interest a little bit. And
Hmm.
actually, like this season of Down Under, for a couple of reasons, like the fact that they all the queens came together to do this like merch badge drip feed release group merch situation. So as each queen was eliminated, they released one badge a week. And then if you get all of them, they connect up and create a heart with the number 4 in the middle for season 4.
It was
Like
so sweet.
that is beautiful. And in a world that can be so competitive and bitchy,
Hmm.
um, a gesture like that, I'm like, wait a second, that is like the most touching thing. So it has revived my faith in drag. I'm loving it.
Totally. So good. I mean, I can't help but be incredibly biased on this podcast and assume that Lazy Susan is behind most of this stuff. But I do love that even Lazy has like throughout this season made it about the whole cast and not just herself. And I think and Vibe, and I think they even talk about it a little bit in this episode where I think they all acknowledge that by leaning into the sisterhood, they've not only like made it a better show to watch, but they're like their successes in the show are even sweeter because it's like they know they did it because they were good, not because they like stepped on another bitch's heels to get there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it is feeling, and it's feeling fresh. It's like the producers of the show realized they didn't need to engineer these kind of like fake fights, and foster like the tension so much.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and just having Rue not there anymore, it's kind of like the strict parent is away, and so like the fun parent like is making all the
Absolutely.
decisions, and the kids are really enjoying it. But yeah, I do. I think it was lazy behind that group merch situation. I mean, another factor there was like they had quite a long time from when they filmed it to when the show was
Oh, so
announced.
long.
Like what, 10 months or
I mean,
something?
yeah, because
Like
they film it at the start of the year, and then normally
yeah,
we get it in mid-year, but this time we had to wait a very long time. I know the queens were all very anxious because, things get out, and then they've got to kind of
mhm,
just go, I don't know what you're talking about for so
yeah,
long. But you're right, maybe it
mhm.
did give them a bit more time to like come up with some fun, creative ways to promote the season. And I love they took it into their own hands. It's like, well, you know, Wow Presents Plus is already filming season 17 of Drag Race Antarctica, so we might as well do our own promo. Like instead of waiting for them to do it, yeah, they worked hard.
Yeah, I think that length of time was really beneficial for them to kind of, yeah, just get some stuff sorted, get their merch together, get their ideas together, get them kind of communicating as a group. So I'm sure it would have been kind of hellish anticipation, but I think it has worked out well for the sisterhood. Um,
Hmm.
and it's been fun. Like, can you believe it? I remember season 1, they filmed it and it came out like so quickly. And like the editors on the show were like rushing to edit it before, you know,
Mm,
the next, they were rushing to like edit the next episode like that day. It was way
yeah,
too
and
short
it
to turn
showed.
around.
Yeah.
Oh, how it showed.
Oh, but here we are, and we have a crowned queen. I mean, to me, it felt like no surprise, but I'm still so, so, so happy that Lazy Susan keeps the crown in Melbourne, darling. And what a run for her. Like every week a gag, every week something to look forward to. Like, how do you feel about Lazy's go on the show?
Oh, yeah, all right. Nah, she's a legend. Like, I could not be happier for so many reasons. I mean, Lazy Susan didn't just fall into this. Like, this is not her first audition. She auditioned every year for Down Under and like 2 years, 3 years for US Drag
Mhm.
Race. So she's also like totally earned her fucking stripes. Like she represents Nam, Melbourne. She represents the Beastie Girls and has that history of like sisterhood and community. She represents Barber, Honcho Disco. Like her drag show, The Game Show, was like an innovative fringe style show. Um, and just all these things over the years, like I remember when Lazy was making these like weird fake ads like online. She was making these fake ads
Mhm.
for products that was like, wait, why are you doing this? But kind of because she has so many ideas, that's just what she does. um, and so she
Mhm.
was really ready for it, and she really brought like a full packet of concepts and was head and shoulders above all the others. She's a thinking queen, and it felt so good. It feels so correct. Well done, darling. We love you, Lazy.
We're so thrilled. It feels like a win for the whole like creative community of Melbourne. It feels like a win for, yeah, people that have lots of ideas and do things differently. And I know we like say that about winners of Drag Race in the past, but you're right, there is a freshness. It's so considered. She's been thinking about this for so long and putting so much into it.
Mm.
So to see it pay off is like, yeah, feels very, very nice. I got to say though, in this finale episode, I really, really thought Moobs won the episode in terms of like, I think she finally like let go of some stuff or something. She was having fun. I thought her verse and her performance in the song was the best, and I also thought that she looked incredible in the end. Like I don't know, I was like so here for Moobs this episode. I couldn't believe it.
I loved it. I love her. I love her vulnerability. I love her warmth. I love her big sausage boa. I
That
love.
was yeah, loved that.
I love that she got her moves out for the finale. Yeah, she's really special. It's I like nice drag queens, and
Mhm. As
I
one
get the feeling
yourself.
that well, I try. I have my moments, but yeah, Mandy Moves is like just such a fucking good egg, and I find it like just comforting that there are like still some nice queens out there.
Totally. Hey, let's get into this episode. So we started off with the post-elimination moment in the workroom, and Nikita has like trashed the workroom by like knocking over the chair. I forgot she like knocked over the chair on her way out, which was hilarious. And they left it knocked over so the girls could be like, "Oh, what's
Oh
happened
my god,
here?"
what's she done?
So good. And her lipstick message is, so I guess it's a circus now, which was so good.
Hmm. I love that too. I love Nikita. She was great. I love how far she went. I mean, she almost made it to the top four, but like she
Yeah,
made a good impression, and that will serve her very, very well. But I reckon she should have trashed the place more.
exactly.
Total destruction.
Vibe said sheds a single tear for Nikita, which is nice. Vibe's definitely opening up a bit come the finale as well. I think she's one of those queens that's like definitely using drag as a bit of a mask to face the world. And I think this episode we finally see her kind of, yeah, break down a little bit, give us some vulnerability.
Vibe is so fucking great. Like, I just love her voice. I love the way she speaks. She's got such poise and confidence. And that, yeah, that Sydney kind of confident drag queen Fang.
Hmm.
Um, I love Vibe. I can't get enough Vibe. I'm obsessed with her. She's like, I think she's like what I want from drag or something.
Oh, absolutely. The vibe.
Yeah.
She's the vibe of drag that we
She's
want. The vibe, the vibe.
mm.
So the final four are talking about their wins, their impressions. Lazy tells Moobs that before the show she was warned about her as a potential threat in the competition. And I was like, oh, here it is.
Oh.
And they all go around and say, wins. Oh, 3, 2, 1, and then poor Freya with
0.
0. Uh,
Freya the
we get
dark
a
horse, or should we
Freya the
say
Dark Horse.
the black horse, as Jocelyn Fox would say. I mean, yeah, I had not heard of Freya before the competition started, but now I certainly know who she is. So I think she did so well.
And I
I
still
love
think, I said
the
this last week,
handshake.
but I think, yeah, the handshake. I think she had a strong connection with Michelle. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it was fantastic to watch. And I think that really helped her get further in the competition too. Like she connected with the judges on a way that worked for her story. And you need to do that on
Freya,
these shows.
yeah, I mean, she definitely has that like daughter kind of energy, like yes, mama, whatever you say, kind of thing. When mama tells you what to do, you listen. She had that kind of energy, whereas some of the other
Hmm.
queens, like when they were sitting on the couch to Michelle,
Naughty
were like, I'm proud
children.
of you too. Good for you,
Oh my
Michelle. And
God.
she's
When
like,
Vibe said, I'm proud of you too, I was like, this fucking bitch. Like,
Michelle's
yes.
like, no
I'm proud of you
response.
too, Michelle.
She's
Imagine
like,
saying that to RuPaul. Like these are the things that could only have happened on this season. Like if RuPaul was sat there and Vibe went, I'm proud of you too, RuPaul. Like, no.
I know that would not have that would not have got down with RuPaul. So yeah, I mean, I guess Ru, like what, she finished her 3-year contract and was like, I'm out of here. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's the time was right and it's feeling fresh, and the budget that was set aside for RuPaul has
Oh,
gone into other elements of the
and
production.
it went
So
into actual Down Under queens who got to come back and have more airtime, and I'm so thrilled for them.
I
So it's
know it works. It helps to like expand the sisterhood, like having Isis there and Spanky Jackson and other queens like coming in. Um, it helps connect with the history of Down Under and with the larger community of Down Under drag artists, and it makes you go like, oh yeah, this is like a real thing and not just a TV show.
mm, mm, exactly. It's a new day in the workroom, and they do this like reunion thing. So of course we
What
can't
the
have the
fuck?
eliminated queens actually come back, which would be so good. I hate that we never get that. But instead we get little
Couldn't they
buttons on the table. Mm.
little freestanding buttons, not attached to anything, just plastic buttons. Not even the queen's like staring through the back of the mirror or anything, just some buttons
No,
and a
some buttons and some
glitter
glittery
kind of
card. Yeah.
what? Okay, all right,
I like that they're
okay.
making fun of it like out loud now though. Like they left in some cuts of like Mandy saying, yes, the budget is correct for this, and like they're more just kind of tearing shreds of it. And I kind of like that they're allowing that now. It's like, yes, we all know what this is.
Embrace the budget, embrace it.
Exactly. So the eliminated queens have pre-recorded some questions for the top four. We start with Lucina. She has a question, and as soon as she starts speaking, Lacey's like, "This is the most I've ever heard her speak." She's like, "Okay."
It's like, is that what her voice sounds like?
So good.
Okay.
She asks what was the worst runway look of the season, and it wasn't hard. On three, they all go Demogorgon.
Demogorgon. Yeah, it
So
was that
iconic.
was unanimous.
It's an honor though to have such a prestigious title. I think of iconically bad runway.
It's a fan favorite. A fan favorite.
Hmm. Yeah.
She should release a single about it.
Oh, I know. If she hasn't already, come on, Kana. Give us the Demogorgon content. Um, Brenda is very cheeky and asks Freya about her relationship status with Max. And of course, Freya gives
Mm.
a very congenial answer. She's like, "Oh, we shall see." Um, what do you think? Do you think this was a showmance?
I think it absolutely was a showmance. Like, I love when Max was like, what you think I topped, and just so I was like, okay, so Freya, I mean, who knows? They are sequestered for what, 3 weeks or something.
Hey,
I can understand a queen getting
enough to
a
turn
little
Max into a
toey.
top.
But I don't know if that would ever happen. Uh, who knows? Look, anything is possible. The world is a crazy place. But no, I suspect that it was fake. I don't know.
Yeah.
I I won't believe it till I see it. I want you girls to get out on stage and fuck. Prove it.
Until
Show
that
us.
happens, we remain skeptical.
Lies, lies.
Olivia Dreams, our first out the season, gets a moment this time to ask. Um, she wants the queens to turn to each other and say why the other should win. Which at
Mm.
first I was like, oh no, I love they all pretend like they're like, oh, I didn't hear that. 'Cause they don't want to do it. But then they actually do share some really nice things to each other.
They
So
compliment each other. Yeah,
it's stunning.
it's wholesome.
Mandy makes Lazy cry because she's sort of like, "Oh, Lazy, you're so creative and you're so out of the box," blah blah. And Lazy's like, give me a moment." But it's cut short because Michelle enters the workroom with her final hello, hello, hello
Hello, hello,
of the
hello.
season, and she's here to
Mm.
tell us that this week they're doing a song, as is tradition in the finale, and it's a Leland produced song. We haven't heard from that queen for a while. Called The Biggest.
The biggest.
And Electroshock will be doing the choreography, who I
Uh
love. And
huh.
I love Lacey's like, well, this is going to be an absolute disaster. And we also learned that Sophie Monk is our guest judge for the finale, which was a chef's kiss choice.
Oh, the perfect guest judge for the finale episode.
Get
And
her
can I
back
just
on
say
like
how
regular. Get her every week. I was so into it.
she is ideal. I mean, she's pretty much a drag queen herself.
Hmm.
But her like just bogan personality and her like horniness, like all her comments were like, "I'm turned on right now. I got a girl boner for you." It's like, okay.
She was
Um,
really good.
but can I just say, how good has Michelle looked the whole season? And her coming in with this sort of black Sailor Moon peekaboo
Mm.
like top and the big sparkly earring, like Michelle just looks incredible. Like whatever she's
Oh, I
having,
loved this Sailor Moon peekaboo top. It was like
so good.
perfect. And then she just
Oh,
knocked it out of the park with the finale look, but we'll get to
oh,
that.
the updo. We'll get to that. We'll
Mm,
get to
mm,
that.
mm. So they write some lyrics. Then we get this was a very well edited finale as well, by the way. Sometimes they drag it out and you're like, all right, let's get down. This was like non-stop bits, non-stop montages. It was great. I was hooked in start to finish. So
Well,
we
they
go
had
straight.
to pack
Yeah.
in a lot because it's the reunion episode and the finale episode, and you're
Well,
like,
they did have that
okay.
huge reunion. We get the Jaffa chat with Michelle solo. I wasn't sure if they were gonna like, I don't know, put Reese in there as a second person or what, but
As a
just
second pop
Michelle.
psychologist,
Yeah, yeah. But it was
sitting on
really
Oprah's
nice. Yeah, it was nice with just Michelle. It was actually quite genuine and cute without Rue being there to kind of like spruik new sayings that he's just read from a pop
just
psychology book.
yes, just lifted from his own therapy.
Hmm.
Yeah, Michelle is. I mean, I always think Rue hosts it quite well and is always very like succinct.
Hmm.
Um, but Michelle is just as good and very, very warm, and people like really trust her. You know that they share anything and everything with her, and she's so genuine. Like she's amazing.
Yeah, Freya's first, and she tells us that she didn't want to be one of those gays that does drag, which I was like, oh, honey. And also,
Oh,
whoops, here you are, an incredible drag queen.
How
She
how
talks,
did that happen?
yeah, well, that happened. She talks about her dad a staunch Lebanese man who was very hard to come out to. And at the moment they're
Mm.
like, okay, but it's like a superficial relationship. And yeah, I thought that was quite sad.
It's, I mean, I Freya's saying the relationship is not perfect, but it's there. And sometimes I wonder that having like a fraught relationship with a father is a fairly common kind
Hmm.
of gay experience.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I wonder about how like being on the show may inform that. I mean, I remember Queen Kong saying a similar thing that, she loves her dad, but her dad was so like kind of weird about being gay in general, but also the whole drag thing. And was like, Queen Kong, like, are you using your last name? Like concerned about, reputation.
That's right.
Um, and I've always wanted to be like, has being on the show changed that? Like, did your dad watch the show? And maybe Freya could sort of use that as like well, this is how far drag took me. This is the opportunities it's given me. Like, I'm on TV, daddy. Like,
Yeah,
look
look
at me
at me now.
now.
Exactly. Lazy gets a really good edit here. She's a little bit nervous with Michelle, I think, in this moment, but I think that's just because she wants it so bad. And Michelle even says like, "Hey, I'd seen your work before the show, and I'd kind of judged you a little bit," which I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." Rue definitely doesn't go there with this sort of stuff normally. Lazy
Like
talks.
acknowledge like real world connections and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, things like that. Not normally. I don't feel. Um, she talks about her theatre background, like her family being performers, and then that naturally turns to the death of her mother in
Yeah.
2020, which, yeah, she like talks about with such, I don't know, like command. It's not like this. She doesn't just bring it up and then immediately burst into tears like we normally get on these shows. She's kind of just like talking about it in a quite, I think, quite relatable way, you know.
She's not milking the trauma points.
Hmm.
She does have a story and she's willing to share it, which is very commendable. Because these things are so personal and raw, like that shit is real. And, you know, I've always been so suspicious of when these shows kind of milk people's trauma for plot lines, and you go, "Is this ethical?" But Lazy hit it in such like a authentic way that was just enough, and then didn't overshare, and
Hmm.
wasn't processing the trauma kind of live on TV for everyone to see. It was like, yeah, I'm real and I have feelings, but I'm not trying to use that to my advantage. It was
Yeah,
perfect.
definitely felt like that. And then she does use this as an opportunity to plant some seeds with Michelle for the performance later on. She's like, "Oh, get ready to see me not dancing very well later on," which I thought was clever.
Mm.
Always under promise, always over deliver. She knows how to do it.
I also noticed that Lazy was wearing like the same kind of color tones as her finale look, like in her
Mm,
boy clothes. As like I don't know if that was just accidental coincidence, but I thought that was like good foreshadowing because it you really then like feel the glow up
mhm, mhm.
and
Well, it's
yeah,
also all the yellow tones have been a nice like nod to being the yellow beastie girl for those who have been, with her for that part of the journey. But then they
yeah.
never really like mention that on the show, which I thought like made sense. I mean, it's her moment, but also it's a nice thing for, yeah, people at home who know what that is to
Mm.
get into it.
Yeah, there's a bit of depth to that culture and yeah, just I love the fact that Michelle had judged Lazy in a competition like 100 years ago, whenever that was. Like, that was cool. Like, it's amazing that yeah, and I think Lazy won that competition too. Like, was it Dragnet at the Greyhound? Is that what that was
Oh
about?
wow. Yeah, it was something like that, which I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
oh,
like
that takes me back.
2018, 2017, like that's cool. That's a full
R.I.P. the
circle moment.
Greyhound. Um,
Ooh, RIP.
Mandy, Mandy has a really candid moment with Michelle, which was incredible television, where
Hmm.
she's just heart on her sleeve. She's a asshole on her sleeve. Um,
That
Michelle,
asshole fell right
the
out.
asshole fell right out. Michelle clocks her maternal vibe, which then turns into a conversation about self-care very quickly. And Mandy's like, look, yeah, I do put other people first. And Michelle very gently says, maybe think about, looking after yourself, which I thought was really nice, but it was delivered in a way, again, not to Rue bash, but Rue would have been like really hyperbolic with it or something. I don't know, but Michelle was gentle. And I think that lands better, especially with Australians. I don't know, we don't like being like beat over the head with truths. I think we like a little
Mm,
a little breadcrumb with some self-help.
yeah, yeah. Like, take me there, but come with me. Um, Yeah, and I think it felt like Mandy was kind of processing that as well. It wasn't like a total truth bomb epiphany. She was kind of like, huh, like, yeah, maybe it is time I look after myself as well as being a
Mm.
motherly kind of caring
Yeah, she
queen.
she
And
sits with it, and then even later on in the episode, she's like, "I'm still thinking about that thing Michelle said, and I'm gonna do it." Like it's quite nice.
mm. I loved the line when Mandy was talking about, I think going to like fashion school or costume school, and Mandy's own mother was like, when Mandy came out, Mandy's mother was like, "Oh, you're just gay because that's the cool thing to do." And how I squealed at that. I was like, "Oh wow, what a mentality! Like, oh, being gay is just the cool thing. Like, you're just following the trend."
I do
If
remember
only.
that though. It was a thing. I remember a few people like in high school being like, "I'm bi now," and then it was like for a week.
Yeah, it's the cool thing to do. Wow.
The cool thing
Look,
to do, get with it.
this was not my experience. Like, I was literally never in the closet. As a kid, my parents used to say, "We have three children, one of each," because I have a brother and a sister. And that was, I was just in this like
That's really
Sims.
sweet.
It was
I
sweet, but
like
it
that. I
also
mean, a little bit presumptuous maybe, but also, hey, they
it
could tell.
painted me, as like a queer coded child. And so I was never in the closet. Like, I mean, I officially came out at like kind of
Mm.
16, 17. My parents were like, okay, yeah, no surprises there. But yeah, it's interesting to me when people had that experience of like hiding it and,
Mm.
grappling with it. Because I never had that. Like, everyone just assumed I was gay and put that on me before I
Yeah,
even
yeah.
kind of knew it.
I'm a
So to
bit
me,
like in that experience as well, where it
yeah,
was quite obvious, which
I
is
just love that mentality of gay being like the cool thing to do. I'm like, wow, what a concept.
still is, darling. Vab comes in.
That.
She has learnt a lot about herself from doing drag. She's very competitive with herself, she tells Michelle, which I'm like, yes, we see this. But she's glad that she's worked with and not against the other queens in the competition, which, yeah, doesn't feel like that's the go-to for her. But she like managed to do it, I think, with the help of these queens who also were on board with that kind of
I
vibe.
could imagine Vibe on another season. I could imagine Vibe's like competitive nature coming
Mm.
out in a different way,
Villain,
perhaps.
full villain edit. They could have, if they wanted to, they could have found a way, I think, to give her more of a villain edit, but they didn't because that wasn't the season. Maybe.
No, they didn't need that. They weren't engineering that, and they just let Vibe be Vibe. And yeah, her. she has such a good personality. She is so fucking good at drag. Like, I just am drinking the vibe Kool-Aid. Or something that I picked up on in when, she's sitting on the Oprah's couch kind of
Mm.
moment. Vibe said that she had started and ended the day being asked, "How are you feeling?" Like the whole time she was at Drag Race. And I was like, wait, who is asking that? Like, is this like the company psychologist? Is
Mm.
this other drag queens? Like,
Mm.
is this Michelle? But I thought that was like a cute kind of little hint into their like world during this filming period.
Yeah, I found that fascinating too. And then for Vibe, that was kind of like a little bit confronting or something. Which I was like, oh, like people aren't asking you that day to day. Like, yeah,
Somebody cares about
what's
me.
going on up in Sydney? So it's like, ah, you
Lovely.
fucking bitch, get out of the way. And then iconic line to Michelle, oh, but I'm so proud of you, Michelle. Like,
Yes, I'm
I,
proud of you too.
I cackled so hard. But it was like genuinely moving this whole segment. And I'm an ice cold bitch, and I never get moved by the moving part of the show. But this one had me.
It was nice. And that, yeah, there were a couple of them that were like, "I'm proud of you, Michelle. Like, you get it, girl." And, she didn't respond to that. She wasn't like, "Oh, thank you so much." And when when Mandy was like, I'm here for you too. Like, call me if you need anything." And
And I
Michelle's like,
believe that. Like, I feel like they are actually in touch. It feels like a
"Mm."
genuine bond.
Yeah, cute.
The
I Michelle is authentic, but she's also like mother to like so many queens around the
Mhm.
world. And yeah, I
But this
imagine
is a
that.
different type of motherhood because these are her babies. She
Well,
wasn't
that's it.
the she wasn't the sidekick. She was the host. So I feel like there is
Yeah,
a special connection this time.
yeah. This
Mm,
is her gig. It's what did
mhm,
they say? It's her house now.
mhm. Then jump scare to electroshock in a ginormous wig and a mustache.
Okay, all right. Listen, I love all kinds of drag, but
Ooh, a
not this
butt's coming
drag.
on. I hear a butt coming on.
Electroshock, like, this was giving, like, dressing up as Milk first time in drag.
It was
This was
milk.
this was giving my baggage didn't arrive. The gig is in an hour. I have $40. I'm going to a costume shop. What can I do? Like
I
the
like the
jumbo
sequins
sequin.
dress.
You did?
No? I mean,
No,
it was a
I'm
sequins dress.
a sequence dress. Uh, this jumbo sequins, like, no, it's a no from me. The gloves, the wig, the makeup,
Mm,
electroshock. I love you. You are a great dancer. You are a hot man,
a
but this
gorgeous
was a
man.
hot mess.
Gorgeous man. And you're right, it is giving milk in that same way, where it's like, if you weren't so gorgeous, we'd be
This was
we'd
this
be
was
reading
off
this.
milk. This was lactose free milk.
Just
This was watered down oat milk. It
I did
was.
love she was getting in there though. Like I love they were trying to rehearse the dance and she just like jumped on stage and just sort of like was trying to get in shot a few times. She's like,
She
I'm
was
here.
stripping rehearsal director with something to prove.
It was great. I love so much when Vibe goes, Lazy's dance routine is very Bambi, and I don't mean cute little dear. I mean Bambi's mum. Dead.
Dead. Hilarious. That was good. You can always count on
Very, very
Vibe for
good.
like the perfect line.
Such good confessionals. Like probably the best of the season, I think. She just always had a tear down and then just her kind of eyes going like, ooh, like yeah,
No,
so good.
you can trust her. She's like got her finger on the pulse and she knows it. I love Vibe. Vibe.
She's doing a kind of showgirl thing. I like they let them have some props and stuff during this to
Oh,
make it
did
a
you
bit more
mean
fun.
those sparse burlesque pants, single
Hey,
layer.
better than nothing. And also the sausage boa,
Oh,
which
the sausage boa made
sausage
an
boa was
appearance.
required for this
That was good.
episode.
I love the sausage boa. A beautiful barbecue.
Mm.
I loved
Oh,
my favorite line from the rehearsals was Lazy Susan going, "Ah, it's the part of beret that gets me. Not the part of beret."
oh. Back in the workroom, it's the finale day. They go charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and the other thing.
The other thing.
Yay! And we get a final mirror talk, real talk with a lot of emotions from the girlies. It's been a journey. Vibe
Mm.
says she often takes out her frustrations with herself on other people. And I'm like, I see you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
she says, she's like, look, I've been a cunt and I regret it. And I
hey,
wish that some other drag queens had that realization. Like, I, you can be like sharp, but don't be so sharp that you cut yourself.
hmm, that's nice. Those are wise words. And I'm proud of you too, Michelle.
And I'm proud to call me Michelle. I'm here for you, girl.
Freya said she compared herself to the group a lot. And I guess it's, obvious thing you're going to do in a competitive setting, particularly when all the other girls have wins under their belt. Um, but Vibe is like, nah, just be proud of you. Like, you did so well. Yada, yada. Mandy is still thinking about Michelle's words of wisdom. They're echoing around in that moob, in the moobs.
Mm. Yes, Mandy thinking that she's been focusing on her work too much, and that's not the healthiest mindset. And it's really so true. Drag can just take over your life. It's such a kind of like matrix of skills, and you always like need to be working on something, whether that's like
Hmm.
styling a wig, finishing off a costume, picking something up, replacing makeup, rehearsing something, like organizing a gig, working with other performers on a show. Like, it is a all-consuming affair. And yeah, sometimes you really do need to go to Vienna for 2 months and not do drag for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just recharge the batteries. Like, yeah, I mean, having this incredible professional moment when you're like on a TV show that's doing so well, like that, she's gonna have to keep going with her drag now, because it's like she's launched her career in a new and exciting way. But knowing that actually like boundaries are healthy, having breaks is that's really important. It's good. It's really good, because when you're just working at a level of exhaustion all the time, the experience is not fun at all. You need to like recharge the batteries so you can be like, actually, this is a good time
This
for
is
me.
fun. I'm into this. Oh, totally. I
Yeah,
understand that a lot. And I've just loved the character progression of Mandy on this show. I was unfamiliar with her before, and I think she's given us laughs and tears and smiles and all of it. Like, very well-rounded
totally.
TV character as well as talented drag queen. And look, and she's going to be booked and blessed from now on. Every queen's going to want her making her garments. She's going to be on stages everywhere. So yeah, this is huge for her.
I think she should get like Miss Congeniality of the season, right? Like, why don't they do
Hmm.
that?
Why don't they do that? We're giving it to her now.
I'm giving it to you, Mandy. Here you go, doll. Take the ground. Miss C.
Lazy gives us my favorite reality TV phrase ever, which is, I didn't come here to make friends. And
Mhm.
I believe this, knowing Lazy a bit, I agree with her there. Like, I can imagine her wanting to come in and just focus on the task
Mhm.
at hand. And then, plot twist, these other queens found a way into her heart, and
They're like,
she's ended up
wait,
being the biggest cheerleader for like the sisterhood. It's like kind of sickening, but amazing.
yeah, it's kind of a bit like, aw,
Because
like
it's not her
she,
brand, but she did it anyway, and now it is, now.
I mean, Lazy Susan has friends. She's got people in her life. She's a busy bitch. I don't know if she could schedule in like a, a whole new like crop of besties. But yeah, it's worked out really well. And I think like her mind as working in advertising and
Hmm.
constantly having to kind of come up with ideas. And like as we talked about Lazy's merch, it's like god tier, you know,
Mm.
and it's that the freshness of those concepts. Like she's a concept queen, and I
She pretty
think
much started a cult this year. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
We've all joined the cult of
yeah,
lazy willingly.
the yes the concept cult of Lazy Susan. Sign me up.
Let's go to the main stage. Dun, 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 dun. We have
Yes,
Isis Avis Lorraine once more. God, she got some airtime this season.
she did. Yeah, she was on like what half the episodes.
Yeah, maybe more.
And looking like a dream
Hmm.
every single time. All the details were so correct. All her outfits were so like layered and beautiful, and she's fully embodying that like elevated drag. You know, the kind of epitome of gorgeousness. And you know, I love Isis so much. Like I know Isis very well. Isis is a nice fucking person.
Hmm.
And I can't think of anyone who like deserves, you know, that kind of limelight and love. And I think she's doing well. Like she for her year-long reign, like she just kept consistently producing these incredible looks. And yeah, Isis Avis Loren, a great name for a rental car and a great name for a drag queen.
Yeah, she killed it this
Love.
season with the looks. It's always great to see Isis. Reese is looking very cute with the little Vegemite moment, but
A
I'm
little
sorry,
bolo brooch.
queen of the moment for me was just Sophie Monk. Just girl boners and
Yes,
all. She ate this
girl boners
finale.
and out. She just is so funny. You know, she's so beautiful, and this like bogan voice that just drops out of her mouth hole. She is fucking great.
She's
Like
like
anything Sophie Monk
she's so
ever
integral to my
does or says.
childhood. Like I just I see her and I'm
And
like, oh,
Bardot,
I see her and I'm like, Mum's here, everything's fine. But she doesn't look like Mum. She still looks just as good as she did back then.
she looks gorgy. I mean, she's truly stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved some of the like close-up eye reactions on
Mm.
her to
I
this
think I'm gonna
episode.
have to do I think I'm gonna have to do like a rewind season on this pod of her season of The Bachelorette because it was like actually fucking iconic. And something's been and I know she's
She's
like
a
the
national
host.
treasure.
I know she's like the host of Love Island and stuff now, but I don't want her hosting. I like her when she's the star. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm here for it. More Sophie.
Michelle looked incredible as well. We need to talk about this look, the
We
glovage.
do. The black, the updo, the earrings, this beautiful fitted
Mm,
bustier, like she just looks so good. Also, like her makeup is looking like perfection.
wow.
Whoever's doing her makeup, props to you, mama. I love it. You know,
Yeah, it was a little
she's
Violet
entered this.
Chachki moment for her. Yeah, I was here for it.
I remember back to early Michelle as the judge on Drag Race wearing these like plastic necklaces that said like Jersey Queen or whatever they said. And you know how kind of different she looked,
Oh
and
my God, the
as
Perspex necklaces. Oh,
yes, the
don't.
Perspex necklace.
We've moved
She's
on from
always
there
been
as
like,
a people.
we've moved on, we've moved on, and she's moved on, and Michelle Visage is giving us like epitome of fashion, glamour, style. Uh, she looks unbelievable. She could not look any better. She looks amazing. I love Michelle Visage.
Mother is mothering. Let's get into the performance. What did you think of the song? The
I thought the song was
biggest?
the biggest talent. I thought the song was great. Their verses were really good. They were well written. They were like concise enough. We didn't have like the quintessential kind of rap
I'm gonna
attempt
snatch
with
the crown. Yeah.
thank fuck for
I think the
that,
closest to that was Freya, who did give us rap stress, but it was a little bit interesting and it was funny, so I forgive her for that. But we had Vibe doing the showgirl fantasy. We had Lazy
Uh,
turning air into CO2. Like I knew, yeah, Lazy works to her strengths. She's not about to start singing, but she will put one memorable funny line in there.
Lazy's doing what Lazy does best, which is give us ideas and comedy, you know. I like the way I think about drag, I think of the three F's of drag, right? Like you're fierce, you're freaky, or you're funny. And the best drag queens usually combine two or maybe all three
Oh,
of those elements. And yeah, Lazy's always fierce and always funny. And sometimes a little bit
a little bit
freaky.
freaky. Yeah, I think she's doing the Fs. I hadn't heard that. I love
Uh,
that.
copyright.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I thought that Vibe's look, although she looked fucking great,
Mm.
it didn't match be- because I mean, in a way, you want to stand out, right? Because it's your moment and it's the finale. You have to like stand out in some way. But you know, Lazy and Mandy had like pink and raspberry tones in there, and then Freya had black and white with this kind of bright red ostrich sleeve.
Mm-mm.
And I wouldn't say cohesive, but they kind of
Oh
went
no,
together
I
with
didn't.
black,
Yeah.
black and white and a big pop of color. And then Vibe was in like just a different world with more like earth tones and metallic showgirl. And I was kind of like, it would have been really cute if they had found a way to work in a colorway that was
Mhm,
cohesive.
mhm.
And I think, yeah, if Vibe was just in a more vibrant, like bright color, that would have been really, really great. But you know, maybe her strategy was to stand out. So she looked fucking great.
Yeah, it's always awkward with the group challenges. Like sometimes they find a way to match, especially on this season of UK. I was like, wow, some of those group challenges, I'm like, did you guys prepare this beforehand? Like these groups were
Mm.
chosen at random, and then you've just nailed it. So I don't know how the planets align for that to happen, but yeah, it didn't quite happen here. But eh,
Almost.
almost. Well, we got the sausage boa, so I'm happy.
We got the sausage boa and the moobs reveal.
Amazing. I
So
honestly
we
thought
were
hers was
happy.
the best all round package on the stage. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And like we feel like we've really gotten to know Mandy now, and she doesn't feel like a carbon copy, you know, she doesn't feel formulaic. Like
Hmm.
she's earned her stripes. She's fun.
She's fun. You
Mother
can tell
Pig.
Mother Pig. You can tell she's a group show girly at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, category is Crown and Glory. Finale looks. Freya comes out first in a stunning chocolate brown regal look with a sort of crown headpiece in gold. What did you think?
It was very good. I wasn't expecting to be kind of quite so gagged. Like that dress is spectacular. Um, you know, Freya's quite petite, and for a dress with so much structure and volume, it kind of runs the risk of like dwarfing her. You know, like her maybe not her wearing the dress, but the dress wearing her. But the scale of the headdress actually balanced that out really well. I think I would love to see Freya like in a bit of a platform shoe from time to time because she's so petite. Just having a little more height and elevation would make her look more statuesque.
Hmm.
Whereas I think, you know, especially when she's performing around like some other taller queens who take up more space, I think it would just like elevate her stage presence in relation to the others. But yeah, this dress, this chocolate brown and gold moment, it was beautiful. Like whoever made that, well done. That was a beautiful dress.
I know what you mean because she did wear a lot of these big kind of like, I don't know, prom dress silhouette type things that were big on her. But she just, I guess that's the fantasy she's going for.
I love the ambition, and it so often delivers. Like Freya's really fucking good, but yeah, I think it's just like a proportion thing. Like if you're gonna have that much structure and width, then you have to bring it in like so much at the waist and have so much like length that the proportions relative to each other make sense and balance out, because you just don't want to look like you're being eaten by a costume, like it's wearing you need to wear it.
Absolutely. Lazy came out and I was like, oh my God, this is like a stunning dress. But then I was like, oh, no gag for the finale. What's going on? And then wait for it, she racked it. And Sophie Monk is dying. Sophie Monk is like feeling very seen in the GC mall.
Gold Coast shoplifter. And wow, Lazy Susan, this gold gown with the train, this 50s Dior silhouette, bows on the shoulders, the cinched waist, vintage glamour hair. And yeah, her color being yellow, and in this episode, her boy outfit being kind of yellow, gold, brown, and then having this kind of fully elevated like couture ball gown.
Oh, you were
with
here
this
for the
fucking
color
security
story.
tag.
Yeah.
Oh, I was. I noticed.
The security
I
tag
appreciated it.
was so good, really well made. And then the ink, because the lighting on the runway is a bit weird, so you couldn't quite take in ink. But then later on, when they're in Untucked, you can see all of that blue ink running down the back, and it's
The
like,
blue.
how perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and that fabric looks expensive, so I'm sure it would have been like such a moment to apply the ink to be like, "Fuck, are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this." And yeah, I note that Mr. Frockhard, like Tristan's, who's my costume designer, long-term collaborator, made that finale look for Lazy, and also made Lazy's opening look, the pink and blue flip back to front face look.
Incredible.
So having like an opening and closing, another full circle moment for Lazy, and
Nice.
and Lazy giving us like vintage glamour. That's not really what you think with Lazy. So yeah, the security tag gag was just priceless, and she's a genius.
Absolutely. Mandy comes out in just classic, gorgeous drag. Like this hair, for me, the gown was stunning, black gown with silver fringe, but this hair was everything.
Yes, the hair. I think Australian drag queens don't often work with like that scale of hair, like the triple stack. It's like Alyssa Edwards, like a volume of hair, and I'm here for it. But yes, beautiful black gown, silver fringing, silver showers.
Yeah, I'm really glad she got to lip sync in this look too, which we'll get to. But I'm glad she got to like show off that hair in a twirl. I was living for that. Vab.
It's good hair.
Vab is last. She looks stunning, very regal in this black, beautiful thing. To harken back to G Flip, she had a knee skirt that was knee skirting.
A knee skirt. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, yes, another black gown, but Vibe is just untouchable. Like, her face was so correct. The hair was so beautiful. Just so impactful, expensive looking, like just like the best Real Housewife you've ever seen. There's no way you can look at Vibe and not say like, Oh, she knows what she's doing. Like, this is a season queen who is there for a reason. So to Vibe and Yoniska, well done, baby.
And that carries over to the critiques. They say she's polished, she's perfect, full package vibes. Freya, they go on about her performance ability. Uh, she's just
I
been
thought
such a
these
delight.
looks,
Mm,
these were kind of weirdly cohesive, actually, because you had
yeah.
like the chocolate and gold, and then Lazy in the gold.
Mm,
They kind of matched and talked to each other, Freya and Lazy. And then you had the two black gowns from Mandy and Vibe. So that was weirdly cohesive. The song almost, but the finale gowns, yes, like wow.
yeah. Yeah, they worked well. Um, Sophie Monk pretty much teaches us how to rack a dress in these critiques, which I love as well. not,
Yeah.
not only,
Some theft advice from Sophie Monk.
she's like, look,
Put it
I've
in the
never
freezer.
done this myself, but I have heard that you put it in the freezer. Who knows?
Put it in the freezer and hit it with a hammer.
I hope
Hilarious.
at
We
least
know
one
she's tried.
person. Yeah, we know. Someone needs to give that a go. Reese says about talking about Mandy that she's clearly very proud to be a part of this community. They're always circling back to Mandy being mother. Um, uh,
What does Mandy
then
say? Oh, you're giving me chills, Ruth.
giving me chills.
That was giving me chills, Ruth.
Reese, you're giving me
So,
chills.
okay, all right. There we
Then
go.
they
See you
whip
at
out
the orgy.
exactly. They they whip out the old trick of what would you say to little baby Adam in Freya's case, Robbie in
Childhood
Lacey's
photo.
case, Andy in Mandy's case, and Angus in Vibe's case. And fuck, Mandy's was the best.
I
She's
love
like,
that Mandy is Andy.
Andy,
Like that is
I love that. Like just whack an M on it.
Andy.
There's your drag name.
Cute.
So cute. And Mandy's was the best. She goes, look, Andy, you're gonna be gay. You're gonna be so gay.
So gay. You are gay. You are so gay.
You are so gay. And then it goes to Vibe. And Vibe's like, look, you're as gay as Mandy.
They're
Really
all just
fun.
very gay.
It was very fun.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, Lacey gets in another moment to talk about her mum, which is really special. It was nice. Again, it's something we're used to Rue doing, but for some reason it just feels more motherly and gorgeous when it comes from Michelle.
Yeah, these moments can be very emotional, and I thought that they never went too hard on it. Like it was touching, but it wasn't like trauma porn, you know?
Yeah.
So like the producers, they had the right
Nice
touch.
balance.
Uh,
Yeah. Back
yeah.
in the workroom, we get our last Untucked, and this was so good. The girls share their exit lines because,
Yes.
they never have to share them. And this was so funny. So Vibes is, bitch, you killed the vibe.
I love that Lazy just sort of like directed this and
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, okay, you go here, go over there, I'm gonna go here.
Well, Lacey
But yeah,
gives
they're
Mandy the
chill
best
black.
kick out. She's like, we've seen Mandy more, and now we'd like to see Mandy less.
Mandy less.
That was so good. And then Mandy's exit line was incredible. It was, that'll do, pig. That'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
The pig
Little throwback to
queen.
Babe.
Oh my God.
Oh, the mother pig. I mean, her brand is very clear, isn't it?
Oh, you got it. The whole challenge is the branding challenge. Freya goes, "Hey, who's gonna win? Brisbane, Melbourne, or Sydney?" Ooh. And
Ooh.
then back on the main stage, we get some final thoughts from the
Hold on,
judges.
Lazy's
Yeah.
Lazy's
I'm-
exit line. She goes, "I'm drag queen."
I'm
And
not a
this,
drag
like,
queen. Was good.
her entrance line being, "I'm a drag queen," like I'm like, it's It's genius, but I'm also like, oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah. Well, thankfully we
Okay,
never got
there
to
we go.
hear "I'm not a drag queen," so she does remain, in fact, a drag queen, and we're all very happy
She got
for
through unscathed.
it. Yes. Back on the main stage, Reese says that he gets quite emotional about Mandy Moves and says that growing up he would have loved someone like Mandy on TV.
On
I
TV.
must agree.
Yeah.
That was
Is it
very.
Mandy from Miscongenialities? I've said it before, I'll say it again.
And Sophie's also like, um, yeah, Vibe's actually quite hot. I've got a bit of a lady boner for Vibe.
This
Meet her
is
out the
horny
back.
Sophie.
Vibe and Sophie Monk in a like fucking like I don't know who I'm more terrified of. Like that is just wow.
Yeah,
The mental
this is
image
the
that I
fantasy
now have.
that none of us asked for or deserve, to be honest.
Exactly. So Freya is unfortunately sent home at this moment. She's not lip syncing for the crown. She's had an unforgettable experience, but she's understandably disappointed. It felt correct to me though. I mean, the other girls had wins. I think she had a good run. Did you think it was a fair call?
Yeah, well, Freya, look, she's cut at the last hurdle, but she's still a winner, getting on this show so young without having had like, a 10-year career. Because the other three are all like roughly the same age, like 32, 33,
Mhm.
they've earned their stripes in such a big way. Like she's done so well and she's a winner in her own way. Um, but yeah, I also loved her exit line. Next time I'm charging double. Like that was
That was good.
that was
She
great.
saved the real extra
She
line.
did
She
get
mentioned the fake one
exit line.
before
Yeah,
about mopping their looks or something, and then yeah, saved the real one for moments
yeah.
later.
For
Yeah,
the,
it was
I know.
good.
I was like, oh, a red herring.
All right, exactly. So we have a
She was good. We love Freya. Freya is a cutie patootie,
absolutely
great drag queen, great in and out of drag, and she smashed it. So well
we
done
love
to you, and off she goes.
we love. We have a top three lip syncing, which was so good. I kind of
Mhm.
thought maybe it was just going to be Lazy and Vibe. I don't know, but I'm really glad Mandy got to lip sync, as I said before, because this hair was so fucking cunt.
So good. And we have Sigala came here for love. They're all in ball gowns. I tell you what, lip syncing in a ball gown is not the easiest thing to do. Like you kind of have to like park and bark. The thing with like a train as well, it's like a shark, you can't go
Mhm.
backwards. Like if you have a long train on a gown, you have to walk
Yeah.
in a circle or a figure eight.
Unless you
And
pick it
so
up and
like
punch it up awkwardly and kind of, yeah,
carry it
um,
around like a baby.
yeah, yeah. No, it was
Yes.
actually well. So I need to shout out to a friend of the pod, Jean Litzer, who famously hates the split screen lip syncs. So they've been doing
Mm.
this. Oh no, they've been doing this for ages now, where the top however many lip sync separately, and then they cut it all together
Definitely.
rather than on stage
Yes.
together. It does feel a bit strange,
Yeah.
but I think for once they did actually find a way to edit this quite well. They even did some little split screens where the two on the sides that were spinning around, Mandy and Vibe, were spinning in sync, and then like Lazy was in the middle just doing her kind of like really serious moment. Um, yeah, it was. I thought it was enjoyable.
It was great. I love that they added a little sound effect like ding for Mandy.
Mm-mm.
Um, and, Lacey has just been giving us so much camp and comedy and concept the whole season long. And then to kind of have a performance like from her that's fairly simple,
Mm.
I think was good because it showed that like she just does have she's got all the elements needed um, of a star drag queen, and she can just stand there and lip sync, and it's enough. It doesn't always need to be a gag. I mean, I was kind of like secretly hoping that she would pull off the security like pin and this
And
like
glitter would
blue ink
fall out.
shoot out.
I was thinking it was going to be some gag, but then you're right. It was kind of refreshing that there wasn't. Like the gag was that she was just good at lip sync, and yeah, it was a nice way to kind of round out the season.
Yeah, like a moment of like earnestness within a sea of campery.
Mm.
She fucking smashed it. Lazy deserves it more than anyone I can think of. You know, I used to go to like Karen from Finance's
Mhm.
drag race screenings at the Dan
Mm.
O'Connell in
Dan O'Connell, yes, takes me back.
yeah, over 10 years ago. And you know, Lacey was coming to those screenings like, and nobody knew who she was. And she would like sometimes wear a mask and stuff, and had this like really, really, really creative energy, and you know, very crafty and conceptual. And people were like, who is that? But she just was like so passionate and inspired and motivated to like kind of do the thing. And you know, I remember her. I remember that young person, and I know how hard she's worked. And nobody deserves it more than she. And yeah, she gets a year's worth of supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills.
Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it was a 50K. That's a good prize. And you know she's gonna,
50 fucking
that's going
K.
straight back into the machine, and we're gonna just get like even more from Lazy. So I cannot wait.
Yes, Lazy. $50,000. Like that will buy you at least 2 holographic propellers. So
Oh, amazing. Valerie Hex, thank you so much for joining me for the
hey, no problem, baby.
finale, all the way from Vienna.
Hey,
And
I did some fact checking, by the way.
here we go.
Your last episode, Young Divas, they wrapped it up because of a car crash.
Oh yeah,
that
I need someone to do some investigative journalism on the Young Divas car crash. What happened?
okay. Well, that was a lie. That was misdirection. The reason. Well, Young Divas were formed in 2006 by Sony BMG Australia.
Wikipedia.
And they had the look. I've done extensive research. Trust me. And the reason that the lineup changed was because Ricky Lee left to pursue her solo career, and then she was replaced by
running bitches over in a car.
In a car.
Who started that rumor?
Oh, I don't know, but I love them for it.
I love it.
But then it was Jess Mowboy in Young Divas for a year, and then they wrapped it up a year later. So you know, it wasn't a very long-lived affair. They had one lineup for year number 1 and a slightly different lineup for year number 2, and then that was it. And they had a shorter career than the Spice Girls.
Wow. Well, we thank the Young Divas for their service.
Thank you, Young Divas. Let's have a reunion.
Driving responsibly. Yeah.
Let's give them some plastic buttons and a glittery card for their reunion.
Yes. Oh, what a joy. Well, I look forward to seeing you back in Melbourne shortly.
Yes. Well, I can't wait. Congratulations on your pod and for all of your cringy moments in 2024. And let's celebrate Lacey's win. Like the crown stays in Victoria, and this is a beautiful thing.
I can't wait. All right, doll. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to The Cringe is Real with me, Sam Cremant. If you would like to support the show, rate, review, share, and tell your friends about it. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the show notes.